Welcome back to Not So Pro Packer Talk, where we only talk about the Packers. Today we're going to be recapping the Vikings matchup, giving you guys all the playoff scenarios on how the Packers make the playoffs, which we are the closest we've ever been since I started talking about how the Packers are going to make the playoffs. And we're going to be talking about how the Packers beat the Detroit Lions. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Right off the bat, we played our most complete football game as a team against the Vikings. Going into this week, Vikings fans were talking all this trash. How they're, hey, wear purple. We're gonna be, it's the Packers' funeral. We're gonna knock them out of the playoffs, etc., etc. They were talking all the smack. Justin Jefferson was gonna get so many yards against Jair, etc., etc., etc. They would not stop talking. And guess what happened? The Packers showed up in Lambeau just like I told you what was gonna happen. Awesome game all around. Started off not very smooth from us. Defense was playing well, and then we got stopped on offense. We punted it, and they blocked it. Another special teams blunder. They ended up picking it up on the one, and then our defense stopped them 3 times in a row to only hold them to a field goal on the 1 yard line. Incredible stop by our defense, and I think that set the tone for the rest of the game. Since that moment, the Vikings weren't going to do anything against us. And that's what happened. They ended up kicking a field goal, and then they kicked it off to Keyshawn Nixon. These idiots, I don't know why they did that. They should have kicked it out of the end zone where he couldn't return it, but they gave him a chance. And Keyshawn Nixon, credible returner, has so much speed, and our blockers gave him the biggest hole ever in a kickoff return, and he took it all the way to the house, 105 yards. Incredible. I was losing my mind watching that. And since then, the Vikings went back on offense, and then Kirk Cousins threw a pick six to Darnell Savage. Super happy for Darnell Savage. If you've been following the Packers for all this year, you know Darnell Savage has been having a really bad year. He ended up getting benched for a while, and they just put him back in the defense. And he ended up getting a tip pass. Rasul Douglas tipped it, Savage caught it, and ran it all the way back. I think it was 75 yards for a touchdown. And then we started getting things rolling on offense, et cetera, et cetera. Aaron Jones had a absolute amazing game. Our defense, though, 3 interceptions against Kirk Cousins. 3. That's because coming into this game, all the Vikings fans were saying Kirk Cousins has been having a better year than Aaron Rodgers. Completely forgetting Aaron Rodgers has had a broken thumb all year. It's really funny. It's Vikings fans. You're a poverty franchise. Sorry if there's any Vikings fans watching, but gosh, man, feel bad for you guys. But our defense was super big. We don't have much of a pass rush right now, which is the most concerning thing about our defense. But Amos forward, Darnell Savage, all 3 of our safeties, they each had a pick in this game, with Darnell Savage obviously with the pick sets. It's really awesome. Coming into this year, I was saying that this Packer defense was going to be a top 5 defense. And at the beginning of the year, they certainly did not look like it, and they were very far from it. And I'm not saying they're a top 5 defense now, but how we have been playing the past 4 weeks, we are feeling a lot better about our defense. It's like a switch was flipped, and now they are playing how they're supposed to be playing. Obviously, Rashawn Gary still being down from his ACL tear is the biggest thing hurting this defense. If we still had him, it would be, I don't know what this defense would be. It would definitely be a top 5 defense in my opinion. But without him, I don't think we are. But we're definitely playing great December, great January football. And then offense, Zadarius Smith. You talked all this smack about the Packers after leaving. You wouldn't acknowledge any Packers players, any of your former teammates. You acted cold to them, and you had one of your worst games in your entire career. You didn't have a single sack. You didn't have a single quarterback hit. You didn't have a single pressure. You did nothing. I feel good. Feeling good. Aaron Jones had a great game, as I mentioned earlier. About the only person on this Packers offense that really had an outstanding game. Not that anybody played badly, but Aaron Jones had the most complete good game, in my opinion. Aaron Jones, 14 carries for 111 yards, averaging 7.9 per carry. The only thing he was missing from this game was a touchdown, which A.J. Dillon and Aaron Rodgers both had a rushing touchdown. Great for them. Tanya's Corner, if you guys watch Fantasy Talk, it would be making a comeback this year if Fantasy was still going on, because Tanyan had a touchdown, I think 3 catches, Great game from him. Really love seeing him back in the offense. And the other big thing on our offense, Bakhtiari finally being back from his appendicitis surgery that he had. He had a inflamed appendix. They had to remove it. He had surgery, and he's finally gotten back on his feet. And he had an incredible game. I don't think he had a single pressure on him. It was great in pass block, good in the run block, all around great game from Bakhtiari. Love to see that. But we were really able to completely control this Vikings team and beat them and show them that the Vikings are frauds. As I've been saying all year long, the Vikings are not as good as they look. They won the North, but they're not going to go far in the playoffs. And we showed the whole NFL why, in my opinion. But we ended up winning the game 41-17. Really, when only 14 of those 17 points by the Vikings came in garbage time when we put our backup defense in. And that's the only reason why they were able to move the ball and get up another 14 points. So really, the Packers won this thing 41-3, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But 41-17, great game all around for our team. But moving forward, we've been talking about playoff scenarios for a while here in Packer Talk, the past 4 or 5 weeks now. And 4 or 5 weeks ago, it looked like the Packers' chances were about 6% chance. And now we have I think 66% chance of making the playoffs. Complete change around. We are now the only, as far as the teams that are going for the 7th seeds, because all the other seeds are locked. 1 through 6 are all locked, and now it's just the Packers, the Lions, and the Seahawks who are batting for that last 7th seed to get into the playoffs. And the Packers are the only ones that actually control their destiny. If the Packers win, they're in. If the Vikings want to get in, they have to beat the Packers, and the Seahawks have to lose. If the Seahawks want to get in, they have to win, and the Packers need to lose. So right now, the Packers are the only ones that control their destiny, and we just have to go into Lambeau, our home field, and beat the Lions. Now, if you guys remember early in the year, I think it was beginning of November, that the Lions and Packers faced off. That game was a really tough game from both teams. Nobody really had an incredible game. Nobody really controlled the game, in my opinion. The Lions won that game 15-9 in Ford Field in their home stadium, 15-9. In this game, Aaron Rodgers had one of the worst games of his career. He threw 3 interceptions, only threw 1 touchdown, 291 yards, but we had a lot of turnovers. Running game, there was non-existent. Aaron Rodgers was our leading rusher with 40 yards. Alan Lazard had a pretty good game with 87 yards, but other than that, there wasn't a lot going for us. We really were not playing very well. And if you also been remember this whole Packer timeline, where we've been as a team, it was the following week when we played against the Cowboys where Christian Watson really came into his own and really became the wide receiver that he is now playing as. So that's a big thing that we have added to our offense that we did not have when we played the Lions. The big things that I think that are different about this game is Christian Watson. I don't think that they're going to be able to stop him too much. They're going to be able to limit him, but I think he's going to have a big game, in my opinion, against the Lions. And then also, I don't think they're going to stop our running game like they did. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon had 20 carries for 70 yards in combined. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think we're going to be able to run the ball in Lambeau as we have been able to do. The Lions, they didn't play that amazing against us. Jared Goff and the Lions, they just played well enough to win. Jamal Williams, Javondre Swift, Justin Jackson, all the running backs, they didn't have too many yards. We really limited them. Amon St. Brown didn't have a big game. It was really a defensive game, and I don't see the Packers in Lambeau, Aaron Rodgers throwing 3 interceptions in order for the Lions to win this game. Now, I will say, the Packers and the Lions, when they played back in November, the Packers were 3-6, and the Lions were 2-6. These are 2 very different teams right now, where they have both been playing very good December and January football. They are not the same teams that they were when they first played. But the biggest thing is Aaron Rodgers is not going to be throwing picks like that in Lambeau, and we're playing in Lambeau. We play differently as a team in Lambeau. As you saw, when we played Minnesota in their home field, we lost 27-7. Now, when we played them in Lambeau, we won 41-17. There is a difference in Lambeau, and we as a Packers organization know better than any other team on how to close out a season. The Lions don't know that. They have never known that, really. So that's why I think the Packers are going to make the playoffs. They're going to beat the Lions, and it doesn't matter what the Seahawks do. They can go ahead and win their game. It don't matter. We don't care because we're going to win our game, and we're going to go into the 7th seed, and we're going to have a chance at the playoffs. Now, we're probably going to end up having to face either the 49ers. I think that's the one we're probably going to have to face. Maybe the Eagles could fall in that spot. Cowboys, etc. There's a lot of different teams that can fall in that spot. The Vikings, we could end up facing them again. But none of that matters right now. The most important thing is winning Week 18 against the Lions and getting into the playoffs. We'll worry about the playoffs and who we have to face after that. No matter what, it's going to be a good team. But the most important thing is winning this week and making it to the playoffs. Let me know down in the comments on who do you think is going to win this game. Do you got the Packers winning? Do you have the Lions winning? Who's going to win this matchup? It's going to be a good one no matter what. I'm really excited about it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. I put out Packer Talk every single week, and we also have multiple other videos that are going out every single week. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to stay notified of all of that. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Go Pack Go.